Good evening, everybody. Welcome into Coach's Corner West, live from our Pizza Hut in Bucyrus. I'm Davey Jones, and we're on Facebook Live, and we've got Bucyrus, Winford, and Buckeye Central tonight in that order. Our show brought to you in part by Doug Luhold and everybody at Advanced Fiber Technology. Also brought to you in part by Coach Tim Plumbley at Mohegan Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation, Matt Studer, Spitzer, Chrysler Dodge, Jeep Ram Kia just a mile east of the Richland Mall, Rob Lust at Edgefield Animal Clinic in Marion, John Ziegler, Drew Young, Frank Hyman, and everybody at Bucyrus Blades, serving worldwide markets since 1951, and Roger Brown at Winks Lock and Safe, South Poplar Street at West Warren Street, Bucyrus. Our privilege to welcome to our microphones Coach Tim Plumbley. They are on the short half of the score of 41-21 to Seneca East. But Coach, this was a much more competitive game than some of the previous games, and we were tied 21-21 midway through the third quarter.
Yes, we had come out in the third quarter, stopped their first possession, and then went down and scored on our first possession and tied it up. And we had a good chance. But they came back and had a couple long runs, and it just got away from us there at the end.
Coach, I'm quoting Dan Messerschmidt from Crawford County Now. Your quote: "I don't feel good about this game, but I do feel better."
Yeah, and what I meant by that was we still lost, and it got out of hand at the end. But after the previous week, it was a much better feeling. We did some very positive things in that game, but anytime you walk off the field with a loss, it's not a great feeling.
All right, was not the result you wanted, but there was improvement.
Correct, and that's probably a more succinct way of saying what I meant. That we didn't get what we wanted, but there was definite improvement.
Seneca East scores with just 19 seconds left in the half to take a 21-14 lead into the locker room. And they received the ball in the second half kickoff, but the Redmonds sacked the quarterback for a 30-yard loss and then recovered a fumble at the 33.
Yeah, really, right now, one big thing we have to shore up is our kickoff. They had a big kickoff return at the end, after we scored at the end of the second quarter, and that gave them a short field and gave them plenty of time to score. Where if we go in at 14-all at halftime instead of 21-14, that's a little different situation.
But makes it feel better than the locker room too, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. You always feel better if you finish strong in the second quarter. But we came out, we stopped them, got the ball back, and we went down and scored. So we were right there.
Got 4 plays later, Eddie Dager, 10-yard run for a touchdown, and the score's now 21-21 again.
Yeah, the kids have come out after halftime this year, and probably at least half the games we've come out and put together some good drives the first couple possessions and played pretty good defense after half.
This game was a little bit different. In fact, it was a lot different, let's face it, than last Friday. A lot more on the ground, too. You guys must change the game plan a little bit?
Yeah, we definitely had a different game plan. We were more deliberate in our pace, and we were going to make sure that we had a certain number of rushes. And also, when you are running the ball well, you tend to call more run plays. And we had some success, and we simplified things a little bit, and I think that helped.
You think Seneca East was looking for the pass?
I think so. They probably worked that quite a bit. We still threw the ball 23 or 4 times, which is a good number in a high school game. But
16 and 24, 2 picks, 160 yards.
Yep. But our completion percentage was way higher this past week, and that's what we're going for. You just can't throw the ball. We have to complete them.
Seneca, you were talking about the special teams, and Seneca East did have 2 big kickoff returns, 54 and 40 yards. You alluded to that a little bit.
Yes, and obviously it always comes after you score, so we get the momentum by scoring, and then
they take it right back.
They take it right back, yes, right. And that's something that we talk about. But this isn't a new problem. We've had this for a couple of weeks now.
First quarter, Mason Gebhardt, a 29-yard touchdown pass reception from Malachi. And in the second quarter, Eddie Dager with an 11-yard touchdown run. Third quarter, Dago with another 10-yard touchdown run. Talk to me about that.
The first touchdown, they're pretty aggressive on defense. They kind of bring blitz off both edges, and we just max protected. Ran a corner route. Malachi made a great throw, and Mason caught it, got it in the end, made a nice catch, got it in the end zone. And then Eddie's really, we've talked about this the last probably 3 weeks now. I really think Eddie's matured as a football player, really is seeing things well, both offensively and defensively. And then the guys up front, we were running probably the same play quite a bit, and the guys up front did a nice job for us to kind of grind it out a little bit.
That's one of the things Dan was talking to me about, Dan Messerschmidt, that he's seen a lot of improvement in the offensive line.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, we've taken some things off their plate, and I think that's helped a little bit. We work on a couple things a little more so that we get it down.
All right. Malachi, as we mentioned, 16 to 24, 2 interceptions, 160 yards. I don't know if Malachi's here tonight. I don't know. You know how many yards you got for the whole season? I do.
600 something.
Yeah, 683. So he's on his way to 1,000.
Yeah, he actually had, I think, almost 1,400 last year.
Well, he's on the way to that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're right there.
6 touchdowns.
6 touchdowns.
46%.
Yep.
And that could be a little bit better. Let's face it, he was rushed a lot of times, and then there were some guys that dropped. We had a few drops.
Yeah, and what happens is if we get into a situation where we drop back all the time, teams really start just blitzing and putting pressure on it, and that puts pressure on the O-line, which thus, rushes his process. So, I think that's where being balanced ends up, a little more balanced, ends up being leading to a higher completion percentage.
Right. He's got a lot of guys to throw to. Grady Jackson, 6 receptions, 54 yards. Mason Gebhardt, 4 receptions, 58 yards. Braxton Lewis, 4 receptions, 42 yards. Eddie Dago with a reception of 5 yards, but he was running the ball pretty well. And Javon,
yep,
Gallardo, and he had a reception for a yard. But you got a lot of guys there. Eddie Dago was the workhorse as far as passing the ball was concerned, or running the ball was concerned.
Sure, Eddie had a lot of carries. We actually have more guys that are capable. Mike didn't get a reception-wise. He's very capable, and we have other guys that really don't go out there. As far as our skilled positions go, I like our depth, and I like the skill that we have there. We just have to keep improving, across the front line, and we don't have a lot of depth right there. So I think later in the game that becomes a little more evident.
How do we do that? We can't go out and recruit.
No, we just have to keep developing. We have to work hard in the weight room. The younger guys continue to develop their bodies, and each week they start to understand a little bit more. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks, one of those younger guys might be able to step up and at least get a few reps, to add to our depth.
All right, very good. We're going to break for just a second. We're going to come back and talk to players that we have here this evening. We got several guys on board this evening. Taricus. Okay, I think Cosey. Yep. Sophomore wide receiver, quarterback. Malachi Bayless, our quarterback, is a sophomore. He'll be here. And Joe Rader, junior quarterback, wide receiver. We'll talk to all these guys here in just a moment. Show brought to you in part by Lee Plymouth and Brad Cyber at Plymouth Insurance Group, Bucyrus and Gallia. Hannah Newton, Wendy's, downtown Bucyrus and Upper Sandusky. North Central State College, Mansfield, and the Crawford Success Center, Bucyrus. Vince Ponziani and everybody at Waycraft Industries. Rod Steiner and everybody at Pizza Hut, Bucyrus and Gallia, the host of this show since 1992. And Burkhart family at Burkhart Farm Sales, your Case IH dealer on the Manette U. Winchester Road. Going to go around the table here. We've got up first Taricus Cosey. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay, Taricus, sophomore wide receiver, quarterback. How much do you weigh, buddy?
Like 115.
115. And you're getting bigger. Coach is telling me that you put on a little bit of weight and you've grown several inches.
I have.
All right. Well, first of all, I'd like to congratulate you on playing football. I'm not trying to be a smart aleck here, but you're not exactly, Dick Butkus. He's like Dick Butkus.
No.
He probably doesn't.
No.
He was a mean defensive ball player. But anyways, and big. So, talk to me about why you chose football. I mean, most guys would maybe expect you to like cross country or something like that.
No, when I was little, I just always had the need to like always run around and playful. And my dad was like one day like you should try out football, and I was like 4th grade, and I didn't really know the fundamentals, and the coach decided to teach me, and I just fell in love.
Didn't you watch football TV at all?
Yeah, I didn't really know what was going on. I used to watch the Ohio State games and Michigan games with my dad, but I just didn't know what was going on.
All right, so you had to get out there and learn how to do it,
Yeah.
huh? And you just nasty now. You've gone, coach tells me you've grown like 5-6 inches here this last year. All right, so what can you do to get a little bit bigger, faster, stronger?
Like Coach said, hit the weight room, eat a lot more, gain weight, just overcome.
Yeah, I did the same thing. You see what that happened to me. So,
Yeah.
so listen, buddy, you're playing wide receiver.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got some speed here. You remember Gerald the Ice Cube?
Yeah.
And McNeil. This kid,
He does. He has some good skills.
This is about 30 years ago for the Browns, but he was a great wide receiver, not very big and very successful. So, talk a little about being a wide. Have you got a chance to catch some passes this year?
No, not yet.
Because you're looking forward to that,
Yeah,
huh?
hoping to, yeah.
All right, do we have a JV team, Coach?
Yes, we do.
You playing some JV?
Yes.
All right, you get the chance to catch some passes there in JVs?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Just like, I was supposed to come out earlier, but then I just came out, so hopefully it'll work out as planned.
All right, buddy, I hope it works out for you too. I appreciate you coming by.
Yeah.
Macachi Bayless, sophomore quarterback. 600, how many yards did we say you had this year? 683?
83, yeah.
Yeah, 683, and you're halfway through the season, so I'm doing the math on that. That's a little less than 1,400. You have some ball games. We can get to 1,400 yards again. That'd be a nice goal, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I definitely think I can. I definitely have some good targets. Like you said, many targets. You have depth. We just got to run around hard, practice hard. Just basics of football.
Well, Macachi, the fact that you got some targets, if we've got the time to throw, that makes it a little easier for you because they can't key on one guy. They can key on you throwing the ball, but they can't key on 6 different receivers.
Yeah, the line's definitely improved since say week 2 when Ashland put a lot of pressure on us. Then the Winford game, that's on me. My footwork, I have to work really with my footwork. Then if I put the ball on target, they can catch it. So, and our line's definitely improving.
All right.
So.
Talk to me about some of the goals you have for the rest of this year. I mean, you got a big, tough game. That Winford was tough. These guys are really tough coming up this weekend.
Yeah, I want to move the ball. I want to slow the game down. Me and Coach Plumbley have been talking. I think we want to huddle up. We're thinking about it, debating about it. Huddle up, slow the game, keep many possessions, and run clock off. But for our season goals, I want to throw at least 15 touchdowns. Then 1,500 yards. That sounds good.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. So you enjoying yourself?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. Listen, I appreciate you stopping by. We'll
Yeah.
look forward to talking to you again this season.
Yeah.
And next on the agenda down here, we've got Joe Rader, right?
Yep.
And Joe is a junior, quarterback, and wide receiver, right?
Correct.
Did I notice your name on the reception list here? Did you catch any passes this last weekend?
Nah, I don't really play wide receiver much. I'm a little lower on the depth chart there.
You're deeper on the depth chart. Okay,
Yeah.
now you're playing some quarterback then?
Corner, yeah.
Corner, so you're a little higher on the depth chart in defense?
Yeah, I think so. I started out there.
All right. Talking about, what you're enjoying about this game this year. Well, you had some good games, and you had some games that weren't not so good. You've seen some improvement. Talk to me about the rest of the season, though. What are your goals?
Well, this past week was a little rough, and for me in coverage, I gave up a few balls that I should have broken up, but I want to improve on that, and I need to work on my tackling, obviously. Just keeping everything constricted and forcing it back inside where I have help.
All right. Did you get in the weight room a lot this summer?
I have, and I've gained about 40 pounds.
Since when?
Since about last football.
Oh, really? That's good. And now you did that with eating, weightlifting, or what?
Lifting and eating a lot more than what I have been.
All right, well, good for you, and I hope it works out for you. Play other sports other than football?
Basketball and track.
All right, good for you, buddy. I appreciate you stopping by. We're going to break for a second, come back, talk to Coach about a big weekend coming up against one of the best teams in the North Central Ohio area. The deals come up here in just one moment. Show brought to you by Black Friedley and Todd McDougal, Friedley and Company Insurance, City, Washington, Ted Coder, Monarch Body Shop up in Dutchtown. Also, the Ohio State University at Marion, a Big Ten education close to home. Mike Kleinite, Ag Credit Residential Lending, Bucyrus, Mount Gilead, Marion. Dr. Thomas M. Britton, Club U Vision Center. Also, Lou Ann Krebs at River's Edge Embroidery, Screen Printing, and Signs, the official Home War t-shirt provider, Route 309 across from the old Marion Depot. Coach rejoins us right now, and Coach Plumbley, huge game against Terry. I mean, these guys are obviously very, very good. They were the pick by the media.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think most of the coaches in the league picked Gary to win it as well. You know, they have a lot of returning guys. They're very good last year. They
went deep into the playoffs.
Yes, deep in the playoffs.
They didn't win the league last year, but they did really well.
Yeah, and you know, they lost a few guys from that, but they really brought a lot of key guys back, and they're deep, they're big. You know, they don't really try to trick you in what they're doing.
I'm pretty much telling you most of what we're going to do.
Yes, and they're really good at it. But you know, from our standpoint, this is an opportunity, a challenge. I think to see how we've progressed. You know, we have a game plan that we want to implement and go out there and fight. You know, I mean that's what they're good, and you can say that they should win, but you know it's up to us to go out and fight and show some pride in who we are and what we're doing, and you never know. There's a reason we play all these games.
Yeah, the reason to play the game.
Yep.
Keys to success.
I think with Kerry, you got to stop the run. You got to be able to handle their physical nature. They're probably about the most physical team in our league. And then from our standpoint is that we have to maintain the ball a little bit and be precise on offense and make sure that we limit our mistakes.
Coach, it's always a pleasure. Good luck against Kerry this week. We look forward to talking again next week.
All right, great. Thank you.
Coach Tim Plumbley, Bucyrus Redmond on Coach's Corner West on WQEL Facebook. We're going to be back with the Winford Royals coming your way in just one moment.